They're very easy to learn, and they're very powerful, and that's pretty much what any software should be, ideal software. My name is Ted Perlman, and I'm a producer, musician, arranger, composer, engineer, which is a lot of things, but I've been lucky enough to, I thought you had to know how to do all those things. I didn't know that guys were hiring other people, so I learned all those things, and I can pretty much arrange it, you know, do the charts for it, old school, play it, mix it, record it, master it, and then go make the charts live and stand up in front of the orchestra and do that, but I can't sing. I can pretty much do anything. I started out as a guitar player, and I worked with people like Whitney Houston, Bob Dylan, you know, Joe Cocker, lots of people. I was in a band in New York, Stuff, which was like all the great R&B guys, Richard T., Cornell Dupree, Eric Gale, Steve Gadd, and those guys. And I played on sessions with great jazz musicians, Jorge Dalto and George Benson, and worked with great singers. And I did that, but I've always wanted to make the record. I can hear all the musical parts and things like that. But I said my background, to relate to Melodyne, my background work with all these great singers, is that I'm really, really good at taking somebody who sings and making the corrections sound really natural, because I know what it's supposed to be from live. And I've worked with great bass players like Marcus and Anthony Jackson and those people, and drummers, and so guitar players and everything. So I've been fortunate enough to do different kinds of music all around the world, whether it's African music. I was in a band with Anton Fig. We played South African music, and music from Japan and the West Indies, calypso music, and music from all parts of the United States, techno, jazz, rock, hip-hop, anything like that. And classical, I've worked with the Vienna Symphony, with Placido Domingo, and just, you know, rappers and Dr. Dre. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's really easy for me because I come from a musical background where we played everything. And I'm like really old school. I'm 100 years old. And we played sessions where, you know, there was no sampling. You actually played it, which is a really great way to start out. And I just really feel that having that background has helped me in using something like Melodyne, which is unbelievably amazing, but you have to know music in order to make it musical, where the software is not running you, you're running the software. Rick Baptist, who's like the best trumpet player in town, he's going to kill me, but I've fixed his trumpet parts if they were slightly out, and saxophone parts, and just everything, but not making it non-musical, just making it so it maybe blended better with the samples, or maybe it just was, you know, slightly out of tune, and you don't want it to be exactly in tune, but you just want to make it a little better or something. So I've tuned violins. You know, Bruce Dukoff, he would really kill me. He's probably the best violin player in town. He's done all the John Williams scores, every movie, and we've even fixed his stuff, and people have even said, fix it. Like I said, we're working on a record by the Manhattan Transfer, and everybody's going to kill me now. They would like, can you fix that? And can you do it? And it's like, the way I can do it in Melodyne, they were so happy because I could make it musical and not make it, although in Melodyne you still can do it if you want to do the techno, you know, T-Pain or something like that kind of sound, but I just like having the choice of whether it's musical or, you know, electronic kind of sound. Besides working with the Manhattan Transfer, I worked with Alan Paul, and he had a solo record, and it was kind of like doo-wop kind of stuff. And he had a group that had sung, and he liked the way they sounded, but they hadn't been in the studio a lot. So the vocals were, it had the right feel and the right vibe, but it wasn't like so much in tune, and it wasn't so together time-wise. So, and he thought it was all, you know, a lot of the backgrounds are on one track, the way they sang together. So he thought that they'd have to record him again. And I had just started using Melodyne plugin, and I said, watch this. And we opened the track up, and suddenly there were 4 tracks of, you know, the bass singer, the alto, the tenor, and he just like, he couldn't even speak for a couple of minutes. He's like, what? And I said, watch. And we started fixing and made everybody, so they started together, fixed the timing, fixed the tuning, and he's like, whoa. I mean, he just couldn't believe that we saved the project and we didn't have to record anything again, and it just was amazing. I mean, that's like science fiction software. Melodyne the editor, Melodyne, plug in any of those things, the studio. The wonderful thing about it is that you don't have to be a technical geek to figure out how to use it. You know, it's very CPU friendly, won't take your whole computer down, and even though, you know, there are things that you have to read the manual for, you can make music with it and not have to like stop working for 3 weeks to learn it. They're very easy to learn and they're very powerful, and that's pretty much what any software should be, ideal software. I still use Melodyne Studio, probably my main use of Melodyne, because, like, for example, if I had a song that had 8 tracks of vocals, and say there was a lead vocal, double, triple, harmonies, and so I can put them in Melodyne Studio and I can hear what they sound like, and even say, I don't know if you can see this, I can write and make up doubles and triples, and I can see everything next to each other. Like, for example, this is the double track. I can see the lead vocal track that I want to align it with, so if they sang the double and they didn't sing it exactly, I can see where they go, and I know what the notes are supposed to be after I tune the lead vocal track, and then I can make the harmonies up, and I can play it all together and hear what it sounds like. Whereas with the editor, it's more like one track at a time, and I'd have to solo the tracks, but I can't work on the multiple tracks at the same time. I can tune my slide guitar. I mean, that's an unbelievable thing, to be able to tune a slide and make it sound musical, and to be able to do with singers. I work with such great singers who can do those slides and bends and everything, and it lets me keep those and not lose the uniqueness and the soulfulness of the vocals, because they do that like that, and whereas in other softwares, that tuning softwares, it would take that away. This is Melodyne. I can say I just want to do the top note, and I can draw in how it approaches the note and how it falls off the note. And sometimes I'll take one note and I'll split into 6 different pieces and adjust the fall off, the pitch drift, adjust the format and all of that. When I can write the doubles, I said this is something that is like my right arm, and it's changed so much the way that the end of the production sounds, because it just sounds like the singer had the greatest day of their whole life, and it lets me do, and I'm really fast at it, and because I know where I'm going. And basically, if I didn't have Melodyne, I'd be teaching school or something like that. I'd be living in Dusseldorf, and I'd be selling hot dogs.